Are your YouTube shorts struggling to perform? In this live stream, we're going to work on fixing that together. Hello, everyone. I'm Andrew Can here on the Opus Clip YouTube channel, and today we're really going to be talking about YouTube shorts, trends, and tools that you really need to know. We're also later in this live stream going to be going over different ways that you can make YouTube shorts in Opus Clip, and we even have some reviews. So there's a form in the description down below and pinned in the chat. It's going to be a really good time here, and I'm really excited to be live with you all now. So one thing to keep in mind when it comes to YouTube Shorts in general, and just when it comes to, content on YouTube, is that like anything, YouTube Shorts are newer to the platform. They've been here almost 5 years now, which is kind of crazy to think about. But YouTube Shorts got their start in India. Not a lot of people know this. Now, as YouTube Shorts is maturing, I mean, at the time of this live stream, we've been bumped up to 3-minute YouTube Shorts. There's still a lot that we can learn when it comes to YouTube Shorts. Now, one thing I will say is if you're watching this, feel free to drop your questions in the chat, and also be sure to submit your YouTube Shorts for review using the form. Now, I will say that YouTube Shorts are one of the easiest ways to get views and really test new ideas for your audience. And YouTube's really invested in a lot of tools that can help you do this. Things such as the Trends tab, and things that help you identify differences that your audiences are looking for. Now, I want to actually take this moment as we are letting people join and come in to talk about just what YouTube is working on when it comes to the different ways that they're helping us understand how to see what our audience is interested in YouTube Shorts. And as we go on later in the live stream, we're going to talk about ways Opus Clip can help you with that. So if you're unaware, Opus Clip is a great AI-based tool that is an incredible video editor that can help you not only make YouTube Shorts, but make compilations, make one-to-one videos, so 1:1 aspect ratio, or 16:9. It doesn't also need to be clipping, it can just do auto captions. There's so much you can do with Opus Clip. So there's really quite a lot that you can do. So I want to make sure that we are talking about some of the different ways that you can see YouTube really helping when it comes to the shorts of it all. So if you're unaware, this is the Trends tab. You get there by going to your YouTube Analytics and Studios. So I want to be sure that I'm making this as large as possible. So to get there, you go to your Analytics in your YouTube dashboard, and then you click on Trends. This gives you what people are looking for, and these are different things that you can click on and see. So how to make long form content on YouTube is one. How to use Opus Clip to make money. This would be a great example of maybe a YouTube short about Opus Clip's affiliate program. And then there's make a short. And these are different things that your audience may have interest in. And it's up to you to really kind of see, right? So you can go ahead and look at what's here. You can decide if it makes sense for you. You can also go deeper, right? So like AI video editing for content creators, well, Opus Clip offers AI video editing, and it'll tell you that there's very high interest from your audience. So when you're going to make shorts, or you're going to make a live stream, or you're working on these different things, the Trends tab on YouTube, this was previously the Research tab, then the Inspiration tab. They finally, hopefully, have decided the official name is Trends. Gives you an idea, right? And it says your viewer interest is very high. So when you look at this, it says many of your viewers have been watching about this topic in the last 28 days. So the cool thing about this is when you're looking at this for a possible video or a YouTube short, is you can actually go deeper. Now, you can use the new Inspiration tab to brainstorm ideas, or you can go ahead and say this like I have, and you can also look at top search topics for this topic. Now, when you do this, you can go and look here, or you can go to content gaps. Now, a content gap is YouTube identifying that there's interest in a topic. There's not a lot of content about it, aka a gap in the content. I see that we have some people swinging by to say hi. Hello, Chantel Hills. I see we have Doug Houston. I see from Kent here. Do you hear from people who have shadow ban? If you feel that is the case, please reach out to Opus Support. I can't speak to that. I'm just here live. But Opus Support will be linked in the description. Usually they don't shadow ban, so can't say that. And it depends on what the situation is. So I would leave that to the Opus Clip support team. Now, when it comes to content gaps, this is a great way for you when you're working on, these tools and the things you need to know about shorts, is it'll also identify, if I zoom in here, content gaps for shorts in particular. And I think that's something that often goes overlooked, right? So, AI influencer video generator is a content gap. There's different best AI theme and Instagram for couples. Like, there's a bunch of different things. This is again based on our overall topic, which is AI video editing for content creators, right? And we went deeper. We clicked to see more information about it. We went to show all here. So this is kind of what we're seeing, right? And some of these make sense for us, some of them don't. So this is kind of where it's up to you as a creative to decide the different ways that make sense, right? So like AI tutorial, there's a content gap for shorts. We could maybe talk about with Opus Clip, like, hey, Opus Clip uses AI to help you easily save time when you're video editing, whether you are making vertical videos, normal 16:9 videos, or one-to-one reels for Instagram. Opus Clip does a great job using AI to find the best moments, saving you time in the editing process so you can spend more time getting your creative message out there and a little less time in finding those moments. It's not really a replacement for your creativity with Opus Clip's editor, with their ability to export to XML. There's a lot of ways that you can use Opus Clip to creatively go ahead and create content. So that's a great way you could make an AI tutorial based on a YouTube short, or you could do those things to help with that search term. So if you look here, that's a great way. And that me going full screen there, I can then take this moment from the live stream. I can then make that AI tutorial talking about how Opus Clip uses AI. It's a quick tutorial explaining it. And all of a sudden, I have a really quick YouTube short with a content gap, meaning there's a lot of people looking for this. There's not a lot of content on it. Good to see you, James Hicks. Remember, if James Hicks is here, he gets the click. Shout out to Joseph Belmont, a great musician. What's up, dog? Hanging while I make some music. Happy to have you here, Joe. So again, some of these make sense, some of them don't. And it's up to us as creatives to look at these tools and to go deeper. And again, Opus Clip can help you with these because some of the integrations they have where you can bring your content from your YouTube channel, it's a newer integration. There's a lot of new features within Opus. So these are just some of those things that, you can really work on it. Now, one thing I want to talk about is, we talk about data-driven content creation. And a lot of times people are like, I feel that's so limiting. When you're using data, it's not so much as it's limiting as it is letting you know there's interest in a topic. One of the worst feelings as a creative is you pour your heart and soul into something, and then turns out when you go a little deeper that actually there wasn't a lot of interest in it. You made something that is good, but YouTube's having a hard time figuring out where to put it. That doesn't mean what you made isn't good, but a lot of people find that discouraging. When you look at what people are looking for, when you look at audience interest and you figure out, hey, I want to make this anyway, and there are people looking for it, it's marrying those two things. And Opus Clip can help you find those moments even in a live stream, right? One thing you can do is when you're streaming, you can think of these different things you've saved, these different ideas, right? So if we go to, how to make short form content on YouTube, how to make videos from Opus Clip, right? Very high interest from our audience. Like these are all things we could do, how to download Opus Clip video while it's low search volume, still interesting that people are looking for it. And these are all things that you can work on to better get, a sense of how you can serve your audience. So we can see here how to put two videos together. Well, we could talk about that in Opus Clip very easily. We could say, all these different things are really good. So interesting that people are still looking at, there's medium volume for RIP video editing. But again, it's making sure that you're looking at what your audience is looking for, like how to make video clips with AI. This would make sense for Opus as a YouTube channel to work on. And again, all of these saved ideas help you understand the need of your audience. If we go to Opus Clip, it makes sense that there's very high search interest from this. Now, if you're watching, we do have a form that you can fill out where we are going to be reviewing, some YouTube shorts. And if we don't get any submissions, that's more than fine. We can still talk about these tools that you need to know about. And reminder, we're doing these live streams bi-weekly. So if you're really enjoying this, I highly recommend you check this out. So one thing I want to actually just take a moment to look at is talking about what are you looking to understand when it comes to Opus Clip what are you looking for? So I'm gonna ask, for a Q&A here, what are you looking to understand when it comes to YouTube Shorts and Opus Clip? What this means is that you can reply to this question and you can easily get some help when it comes to that. And it'll show up in chat. It makes it a little bit easier for me to see. So yeah, what are you looking for when it comes to YouTube Shorts, when it comes to Opus Clip? I see we have more people joining us. Thank you for joining. Remember, we have in the description down below a place where if you're interested in getting your YouTube Shorts reviewed, you can submit. Now, we're talking about different tools and trends you need to know. One trend that I'm seeing when it comes to YouTube Shorts is that you want to make sure that you're looking at your average swipe away and view rate. Now, a lot of people are creating shorts and they're like, apologize, they're coughing apparently, but they're wondering what is good. How do I know what is working when it comes to the content of shorts I'm making? And YouTube Shorts are definitely interesting. A lot of people, if you're not familiar with, are still working on finding out how to get better shorts, what is working for them. And so I want to take a moment from the Opus Clip YouTube channel here just to kind of showcase, there we go, a little bit more picture in picture. So people ask all the time, what is a good viewed to swipe away rate? YouTube says an average. So this means that this is what most people get. We are trying to obviously improve or get better from here, but an average swipe away rate, meaning that the percentage here, you want more to view. So 69.4% is what we have here at the Opus Clip YouTube channel in the last, 28 days, really good. They said that you want your view percentage to be higher than swipe away. But the average percentage viewed for most creators is anywhere between 20 to 40%. Any higher than that, so 40% or higher, is considered good. Ideally, you want this to be as high as possible. Ideally, this is 100% and no one ever swipes away, but that's not exactly always realistic. I do think that for Opus Clip here, this is a very healthy 69.4%. And then swipe away is 30.6%. So when it comes to YouTube Shorts, ideally, you have a higher percentage view ratio than the swiped away ratio. The reason for that is the longer people view your shorts, the more likely YouTube is to suggest and recommend it within the YouTube Shorts feed. Another thing to keep in mind when it comes to the YouTube Shorts feed is it's highly based on relevancy, breaking news, current trends, and events. It's more social based compared to the traditional YouTube search and discovery system for normal 16:9 videos. The reason it's important to identify these differences between the two is so that you know when you're creating content for either platform, it's both YouTube, but just different format's the better word, is that you understand the strengths and weaknesses of each unique format here on YouTube. So ideally, your viewed percentage is higher than your swipe away rate. And when what YouTube has told us based on the time of this stream is that the average viewed versus swipe away rate is about viewed is 20 to 40% is normal for viewed ratio. Any higher is good. Ideally, we're aiming for 100%. And that can happen. Some YouTube shorts are watched so much, their viewed percentage is in the 100% tile and higher. So it can happen. But it's just good information for you to know if you're wondering when it comes to these things. Now, another thing I would do is if I'm looking at, YouTube shorts, what has really kind of worked, right? We used Opus Clip to clip a YouTuber's tutorial of clipping clips with Opus Clip. I have to say that is a very fun title, right? And a lot is coming from search. One thing I want to dispel, and I've seen this, is, you got to get in the shorts feed, otherwise you're going to get no views. This is 99 unique people who've discovered this through search. Some have discovered through browse. It's still going out in the feed. And this is 28,000 views. It doesn't mean that it's a bad video or a bad short. It just means that there are different ways you can, get that kind of content. Now, obviously, suggested and the YouTube Shorts feed is ideal when it comes to that. So one thing I would keep in mind is that when you're looking at the Shorts feed is remembering that the Shorts feed is a newer way that YouTube promotes content. People are so used to YouTube search and discovery. However, just because there is a Shorts feed doesn't mean YouTube search, discovery, those teachings, those learnings that we have from long form videos don't apply to shorts. So, this is an interesting question from Kent. How many shorts can you upload in a day? There is two answers to this. Technically, you could upload hundreds within a day. Should you? No. So, I think the better question is how many YouTube I'll rephrase this. How many YouTube shorts at max should you publish in a day? YouTube says after 3 videos, they stop promoting the content in the subscription feed and other parts of the platform. You have to think about this as a subscriber. If you are going to post a lot of shorts, I would recommend not notifying subscribers so it goes straight to the shorts feed if you're going to post a lot. And keep in mind that the more you post, YouTube's system, the way they do it is based out of your last 10 results, right? So what most people don't understand with that, and I'll share my screen in a bit, is that YouTube is constantly comparing your latest uploads to your past uploads. So if you're uploading too many videos within a day, YouTube is going to have a hard time suggesting your content because you keep telling it, no, stop focusing on this one, focus on this one. This is the latest video. So at the absolute max, no more than 3 a day would be my recommendation. But realistically, you need to give your content time to breathe, time for YouTube to promote it. If you're constantly posting shorts I've seen some people post 24 shorts within 24 hours, and then they wonder why their shorts views are lower than when they post one and give it time to breathe. The reality of the situation is your audience, you don't want to overwhelm, and you don't want to make YouTube have to figure out which video to publish, which one to push out. They're always going to be doing that in the back end. They're always, based on design, going to try to give your most recent video some love to get it out there. So when you're constantly refreshing that in a cycle, it becomes difficult for YouTube to really know how to push it out there. So hopefully that helps answer your question there, Kent. And it's a really good question. So technically you can upload and have it unlisted or scheduled as a lot of videos within a day, but how many should you publish, make live within the feed? That's a different thing. Welcome Micah Flemons, who says they've reached 309 subscribers. Congratulations. We right now are talking about YouTube Shorts, things you need to know, tools and trends that you need to know. We just talked about how you can identify within YouTube's free trends tab gaps in content, things you should make when it comes to YouTube. And we've also talked about how YouTube Shorts, how the feed works, how even though the feed is like the suggestion system on YouTube, that there are other ways you can get views in YouTube Shorts. And the cool thing when it comes to YouTube Shorts compared to a TikTok or compared to Instagram Reels is that YouTube Shorts have a very long shelf life, just like normal YouTube videos. So hopefully that gives a little bit of information when it comes to the different ways that YouTube Shorts, have some strengths. Now, another thing I want to talk about as we're looking through here is if you are not familiar with, different kinds of content on how you can, brainstorm ideas, is there are a lot of ways that you can, even as you're creating your own content here, we could do Opus Clip YouTube, right? And see what people are looking for. This has a very high interest from our audience, how to use Opus Clip. Like, this can go, even though the search volume was medium on YouTube overall, for our audience, this is going to have high interest, right? So we can then go to show all and find the gaps. And sometimes the gaps that are here for other videos, you can then take for your own. That's the beauty of this. Now, again, I'm going to remind folks that we have the form that if you would like a chance for me to take a look at some of your YouTube shorts, give a little bit of feedback, we can definitely do. Now, another thing I do want to continue to talk about here is kind of what makes the best clips and moments within Opus, right? So if you are looking at Opus for the first time and you're like, how can I make better shorts? What can I do to help Opus help me? Which is something that I have heard from creatives. And I wondered the same thing when I joined, right? So one thing I would say is when you're looking at the Opus Clip area here, let's just say that you are trying to get the most out of utilizing Opus Clip, right? So I can actually take, because this is now the second live stream, we can go in. And because we've done a live stream here before, we're going to drop this link. We're going to go get free clips. Now, there's a couple of ways we can do this, right? We can just do that method where we have, just put it in Opus Clip. We're working on it. We're trying to get more views. We're trying to get, you know, more instance. So here we go. We can let AI detect, or, we can choose the length. I'm going to be making YouTube shorts for this. I know that this is mostly talking head and speech, but this is also informational and educational. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. If you hover over it, and I'm actually going to zoom in, it's going to tell you kind of how it's going to focus on giving you YouTube shorts. It's going to focus on emotional stories, the top moment, the best scenes, and best scenes compilation. You can actually fine tune this if you click on this here. Choose your narrative template and tell us how to structure your clips. You're giving Opus Clip some feedback, right? So I have seen some people who are, they are news live streamers, or they talk about the news. For you, it would maybe make more sense to focus on news, but notice that you can have both. I've seen some people only select one, right? So I would say that this is definitely more talking head and speech, informational and educational, and it's going to use these two to help feed into what we're going to be doing with Opus Clip. Now, you can also just let it detect for you, but for my use cases, I would say these are definitely the fit for the last live stream we did. And because we wanted to do this for the Opus Clip YouTube channel, I have a template, the OC template. And then we can say, find all the moments where I'm teaching about YouTube and Opus Clip. And if you're not sure how to prompt, you can click here. A lot of people don't know that Nick Nimmin, good friend of Opus Clip, friend of my own, friend of the channel, has some videos for it that really can help you get better at this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hit get clips in one click. Now we're using Clip Anything. There is also Clip Basic, which is just great for clipping talking videos. Now, one thing I want to mention is maybe you don't want to clip. This is where you can just add captions without clipping your content. You click that, your video, there is a 30-minute limit. This is mostly for, as it says, your video exceeds the 30 limit for this quick start. So good to know. But again, when you switch between those, the one thing that to keep in mind is it will kind of switch out of what you were doing, but there is a way just to get those clips just to get the clip without the clipping, meaning you just get the captions, you get it as it is, and Opus won't necessarily cut it for you. You could still cut it in the Opus editor, but there's just some things to keep in mind. So we're going to go back to informative and educational, talking head and speech. And we are going to say, find the best moments where the host is teaching about YouTube and Opus Clip. There we go. We're going to go back to the Opus Clip template. And if we really wanted to, we could save the settings above as a default. So whenever we bring something into Opus, this is kind of what it does. But we're going to click get clicks in one click. It's going to bring us back here. And now as we wait for that, I just want to take some time to answer this question from the chat. Should we use a question in the title? We are a political channel. Depends. Are people searching for that question? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, go for it. I think if people are searching for a question, that makes sense. Sometimes there's an answer that they don't know the question for, right? A great example for this is I've seen things where it's like people ask how to use Opus Clip, but another common question that not a lot of people are asking, but I could ask as a question is why you should use Opus Clip. So let's say I just want to answer, here's why you should use Opus Clip. Then that gives a good question, and the answer in the video can answer a question they had that's not even being searched, but it answers, some people only search up how to use Opus Clip, but a lot of people don't know why. Why to do something is just as important as how to do something. So if you're looking at, the question and title for politics, right? Depending your political leaning, this is not the focus of it. But there are a lot of questions. It's like how to find your political party, how to find different political opinions, right? Like, should you find different political opinions are just another way to ask that question. And it could be an interesting way that you talk about the how within that question. So I would say if it makes sense, you should use questions in the title, but check the YouTube Trends tab, check that there's interest in that topic. That way you're not getting bad results. So hopefully, Kent, that helps. I will also say, as we were waiting on Opus Clip to do its thing, that you also have to remember that you can do a lot of what we're talking about just by filming. One of my best tips when it comes to Opus Clip is this. So I want you, if you were thinking about making content, again, we're going to talk about how to get there. We're going to go to the trends tab. We are going to go in, look at what people are searching for, right? Maybe I don't have a lot I can think about when it comes to some of these topics, but you can always film yourself about a keyword that you know people are interested in. You can just film yourself, look at your phone, because the beauty of this is the trends tab translates from your desktop to your phone and vice versa. Is like I could go in, look at my saved search results, and just record myself talking to camera like I am now. I could pick one here, right? Let's see. Um, if I go to my saved, let's go here. Let's look at any of these, right? And I could just say, talk about it, right? So this one is best ways to use Opus Clip. The best ways to use Opus Clip is you can actually film yourself talking to camera like I am now. Then take that file with a bunch of different topics that you've talked about. Maybe you just wanted to practice your performance to camera, and then you can use that practice, that performance, to make clips within Opus Clip. Sometimes you'll be so surprised how well those clips can do or how well Opus can help make that elevated. And then that practice can go into execution with the help of Opus Clip. That's one of my best tips when it comes to using Opus Clip, is that you don't have to just do it in a live format, or you don't have to do it in an existing video. You can make a brand new video, get using more comfortable talking to camera, bring that into Opus Clip. You've used these ideas that you've had in your head for a while. Opus Clip with its auto AI B-roll, just using stock footage, some of its text effects can take that practice and make better. And then you're working on publishing that content. That's one of the best pieces of advice I have, because then you've gone from not sure what to make to learning how to make content with the help of Opus Clip. So that's how and why I'd say that's one of the best ways to use Opus Clip. And then think about it, right? That whole segment we just did, I can make that a video because it's based on our audience search, right? Best ways to use Opus Clip. Very high interest from our audience. I just thought about how I could talk about it to camera. A lot of that was practice, and a lot of it is true. So it helps with a lot of different things. What kind of tank do I have back there? Oh, I'm sorry. My brain went a different way. Down to the earth. I thought you meant like actual tank. I have a 6.6 gallon betta fish tank. You can see that behind me. One of my hobbies is fish keeping. So that is a little personal information. I have a blue and yellow betta fish who's slightly aggressive, named Logan. And if you get that reference, shout outs to you. Shout outs to you. But no, that is not a bad question. But you see, within that question, right? We had a question from the audience. Sometimes audience questions live or things you see in comments, you can use the reply to as a short, right? One thing you may not know within that is that you can use, you can reply to that short, and that can give you your own content. Very nice, Dan. I wish I could have a reef tank. I have a very specific size limit in this apartment of tank size that I can have, and I'm close to the edge of it. So I do not want, I understand the need of a larger gallon for specific things like that. I know you can do it in a smaller tank. It's just for what I can manage and handle within the limits of this apartment, betta tank just makes sense. But that is not, that's a fun question. Now, I have a question if you were watching. What do you want to know about YouTube Shorts or Opus Clip? How can I help you better understand those two things? Now, I did see a question, and this goes back to our overall topic on questions. And this question is, what makes a YouTube short go viral? This is a question I hear all the time. You can never predict virality. You can do your best. You can do all the research. Unless you are someone like a Mr. Beast who's performing at the top of the game, most people cannot predict virality. So what are the things that YouTube has told us they look for mass sharing on YouTube Shorts, which is a way to enter in virality? The first thing they say is the first 3 seconds of your YouTube Short are crucial. They are the hook. On a normal YouTube video, people will watch for about 30 seconds. On YouTube Shorts, they decide within the first 3 seconds to keep watching or swipe away. So, when it comes to making sure people are watching and going viral for shorts, those first 3 seconds are crucial to hook them in effectively. Another thing that can help when it comes to YouTube Shorts going viral is how well do you loop that short? I actually script some YouTube Shorts with a loop in mind. So I make YouTube Shorts based on live streams like this using Opus Clip, and I also create net new YouTube Shorts. I actually run them through Opus Clip once I edit, just for the captions and just some of the things Opus does really well. However, how do you loop the short? A loop is when you say something at the beginning, and then that beginning phrase you say at the end, and it loops perfectly, and you never realize it did it. Now, there's a lot of ways to loop effectively, and maybe that could be a video we talk about on the Opus Clip channel, is how do you make effective looping YouTube Shorts using Opus Clip? That could actually be something you do. Again, you could use that in a live stream. The next thing you got to remember is CTA and engagement hooks. Similar to normal videos, how do you get people engaging in the comments on your YouTube Shorts? If you are not focusing on getting engagement, YouTube has a lot of different ways to engage. If someone shares the short and shares it to someone else, that's huge. If someone comments, if someone remixes your short, if you have a sound that maybe in that short that gets people going, gets people creating content, YouTube's going to take and look and notice that. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do that. Again, no one can truly predict virality. There are people who are really close and good at it. However, when it comes to YouTube Shorts, those are some of the things you need to remember when it comes to how do you make something go viral. You got to look at the best practices and what YouTube recommends to promote something, right? When we understand why and how YouTube promotes a short, it helps us work on factors to get closer to that. So again, we can't always recommend, no one can really guarantee virality, but you can guarantee the things that YouTube looks for mass promotion, which is a step. And how do you, any journey is defined by its journey of 1,000 steps is done by its first, a journey of 1,000 steps starts with the first one. That's how you can look at that first one, right? So I would say that you really should think in terms of how do I get the most exposure? What are YouTube looking for? And TikTok actually is even better, right? TikTok tells you what they're looking for when it comes to, how, like, they have a score point system. So if you look up TikTok score, they actually have like how they do it, what they're looking for. It shows up on mobile and it shows like how they view different things, different actions in terms of sharing. So while we talk about YouTube, because this is a YouTube live stream, there's a lot of different factors for Reels. There are different factors for, TikTok. Heck, even LinkedIn has vertical video now. So all of these different platforms have different needs. I see from Dan of Earth, I mostly use shorts to advertise my longer form content, but they seem hit or miss. Some get 1K views, some get like 80. That is pretty common. I want you to think about it like this. Whenever I do a YouTube short, I never try to make it just an advertisement for a longer video. What I'll do is, can that moment stand alone? Without the context of the full video, is this good enough to get people interested in wanting to watch just this short? If the answer to that is yes, then I just subtly put a link to the full, the full video that short comes from, or the full live stream. I always make sure, and I'm not saying that this is not what you're thinking of, by the way, Dan. This is just for someone who is watching, but it's one of those things that you always want to make sure that can stand alone. I guarantee you sometimes those 1K view shorts can do a little bit better in standing alone. I've had to look very critical. And again, we talked about this earlier, but in your analytics, it's very important that, if you look at your shorts, that you look at your, swipe away rate, your view and swipe away rate. So I'm going to go ahead, actually share this again. At Opus, right, it's 69.4% choose to view before they swipe away. And some of our more viewed shorts do a really good job of standing alone, even though they tend to come from live streams, they tend to come from videos. They do a good job of just being good content on its own. And again, this is not saying that, Dan, you're not doing this, but your audience decides that a lot of the time. And I've been very humbled where I'm like, this is going to be a great YouTube short. Oh, actually, no, my audience decided it wasn't a good YouTube short. So hopefully that helps. I also also wanted to comment. I hope I have enough Opus Clip for you here today. And the next thing I see is from Kent, which is when you upload a link to Opus Clip and you first want shorts under 3 minutes, but then you want longer clips 5 to 10, do you need to use the same link over again, or can you reuse the first link? So this is a great question, and it's talking about how can I, let's say at first I want 3 minute shorts, but actually I decided I want more longer shorts later. I love this question. So right now we are almost done with the video we did a little bit earlier. So in fact, I think it's done as we talk live. I'm going to actually show and answer this question because I think it's a good one. And this actually is maybe even a good video for us to do on the Opus Clip YouTube channel. So I actually really, really like this one. So one thing I want to do is I'm going to go back to Opus Clip. And let's say to answer this question, you've decided you want, different short and clips length. One thing you can do is you can go and you can reprocess this project. And now a couple of things that you can consider is that the clip length is not what I want, is something you could do. And the only problem with that is if you do that, it is going to remove it and to give you those credits back. But one thing I would say is if you are looking to get, longer clips, is that there is no harm at the start of when you're doing it to have three and then have all those options selected. It's still going to find clips, hundreds of clips even. So while it is a little challenging here, it doesn't mean it's impossible. You can even reformat. Like, let's say I actually really like this clip, which is YouTube Shorts reach billions of views with short videos. I see this question, why would you even bother making shorts? There's no money, they don't bring as many subscribers. So for me, if this is one that I want to maybe edit or make longer, another way I could do it is I can go in the editor. And you may not know this, but you can actually extend a clip. You can just drag and it's going to extend it from the original, and it can add more time. I do this a lot. Sometimes there are moments where I want more than I originally had, and by, elongating it like that and by dragging, it'll bring in more of the content than what I had. So that's another way that you can get those, longer clips. Now, if you're looking for, like I said, a way to get this in terms of, you want to reprocess the whole project, the question was, how do you when I upload a YouTube link and I want shorts for under 3 minutes, then I want longer clips. Another thing you can do is when you are bringing in the project, you can think of that from the start, right? So let's go back to Opus Pro, which is just a quick way to get back to the front. You can actually work with Clip Anything to do that. Unable to port. Seems that might have just been an error. Let's try this again. There we go. So you can actually have all of it, right? I sometimes will do that, and then I'll do this, and then I will tell it what I'm looking for, right? So for this one, we'll go back talking head, informative, and speech. And then what I will do is I will say, find moments that make great YouTube shorts for, 30 seconds to 90, and then find great moments for clips of 16 by 9 that are, and then again, you can choose 5 minutes plus. And again, what you're doing is you're prompting, you're helping it help you. And because you can have presets for different things, what I would tell you is have both presets, one for 16 by 9, one for 9 by 16. And then when you use this, you do your clips. And because I've already, got this project going, what you can do is if you like this clip and you rather it go to vertical or you want it to be 16 by 9, I'm going to hit save changes. I'm going to tell it to make this video from 9 by 16 to 16 by 9. So it's going to reprocess this now as a 16 by 9. Now, keep in mind, if you've only filmed in vertical, there's not really an easy way for you to do this because obviously you didn't film in the right format to do that. However, if you film in like I'm doing now, and if I go right here, So if I'm filming in 16 by 9, it can go to those different size formats. However, when I'm in this view and I'm only 9 by 16, it can't make something that just isn't there. So I just flag that to say it's not that it can't or it won't. It's just, again, I didn't film in the right format. And so we want to make this landscape. There we go. And now I'm in landscape. And now I can use this as a clip. Now keep in mind that this is for preview. It's going to be in a lower res as it says here. But I now could maybe use this as a clip. And I can see this from what I did before. So that's one way that you can use that and get that higher level of interactivity when it comes to, getting more out of your clips. Actually, I should save this, save that change, and then it'll go back to the other page for us. See? And then I see from Dan Earth, how do you get to the trends page you showed? We're going to go back to YouTube Analytics. In Analytics, so you go to your YouTube dashboard, YouTube Studio dashboard, click on Analytics, go on Trends, and this is YouTube's free keyword research feature, aka the Trends tab. Originally, it was known as the Research tab, then YouTube changed the name to the Inspiration tab. I hope that the Trends tab sticks, but it's been changed 3 times. So this is how you get to the YouTube Trends tab. Hopefully they keep this one, because I actually think it makes the most sense. Now, I like this because if you have ideas for things, I really like how to use Opus Clip to make money. There's different ways you can do this, right? So they also have the Inspiration tab, which is if you click Brainstorm here, YouTube is going to use its AI to come up with ideas, but ironically, it couldn't figure out how to make ideas for this one. So maybe if we go how to use Opus Clip, it can come up with ideas to brainstorm. But this is just another way. This does use YouTube's own AI. So, right, it says Opus Clip 5 ways to level up your product demos. That's an interesting one. Opus Clip and Chat GPT, how to create viral YouTube shorts. This could be an idea. How to use Opus Clip for content repurposing in 2025. If I click on that, it'll give me decent ideas. This one actually might make sense for us to consider at the Opus Clip YouTube channel. It'll come up with some title ideas, so not bad at all. And again, when we go back, that's just a different way. But one thing to keep in mind is that the Trends tab comparatively can show you what people are searching for actively, which is how we came here. If I look at what people are searching for, clipping YouTube videos, well, this goes to, people want to know how to clip YouTube videos. Opus Clip is, again, a great solution for this. So if you're wondering how to clip YouTube videos, all you have to do with Opus Clip is take your YouTube video link, upload it to Opus Clip's website, click Get Clips in one click, follow the on-screen instructions, and then all of a sudden, you're clipping YouTube videos fast and creating content that can help you do even better on platform. So that's an example of how we could take an idea here and really use it. Now, one thing I would say is the biggest lessons from today are how to use Opus Clip effectively, right? You want to make sure when you're using the different formats and you're using the different, tools within Opus Clip, that you're always thinking of the different ways that you can use it to help your content, right? Like before in our demo, we showed how you can take a 9 by 16 video and then make it 16 by 9 or 1:1 if you shot in the right format. So one thing you can also look at is the different ways you can view Opus Clip. There's the grid view, which is up here in the top. And this gives you more look and base it on your virality score. You can also go in the list view that kind of explains a little bit more of what each of these things mean. You can also filter, right? So if, we talked about with Kent, he's wondering how do I look for the different lengths? If I want clips that are only these lengths, it'll filter to only show me those clips. And then I can look at the hook, I can look at the different score, and you can see that there are some jumps in some of these because, not all of them meet. So we went from 30 to 33, and it's going to look for a lot. I can filter it for specific things. So maybe I want any type that I mentioned YouTube Shorts. it is now filtered that I mentioned it 3 times from what it was able to clip. Maybe I wanted to talk about content repurposing, which it's identified as something. I've talked about that 5 times. So again, a lot of people don't know about the filtering because it's one of those things. I talked about Opus Clip benefits. So if I'm looking here, I have one that's about it. If I'm looking for YouTube growth, there's 2 that it really has found that fits that. If I'm looking for YouTube guidelines or Opus Clip uses, right? All of a sudden, I have all of these things. So I talk about YouTube Shorts 3 times, audience reach, I talk about twice, algorithm, I talked about once, monetization once, and all of a sudden, I can see this, right? I can go to any of these and really focus on it. If I'm looking for under 30 seconds that I think, maybe I want shorter shorts, shorter YouTube shorts. I'm okay with I'm a knee length shorts guy. That's definitely the clip we're going to talk about, right? But right, like this one, right? YouTube says repurposing your content is okay. Or YouTube says repurpose your content. If I were to, edit this clip, one thing I can do is take a look at it. I can see that this view, it's sharing my screen. I might want to zoom in just a little bit more. See, if you're wondering how does YouTube feel about repurposing click, well, guess what? YouTube actually posted this. Getting started on YouTube Shorts has never been easier. You can even reuse your existing content. You can look here. And so you can see how I'm talking about YouTube created this, right? And I can actually, within Opus Clip, whenever I click on it, I would probably split here, reframe here, maybe zoom in just to get a little bit better on that reframe. And then maybe I add the captions here. And look at how much I'm editing, just so that I can show this off. And I can still crop, right? Because this is a little bit higher and more than I actually kind of need. So I could just say this for the crop, resize it to match a little easier. There we go. We have me over here. Another thing you can do. And so all of a sudden, I have, this in picture. We've edited it live here. And it's just a little bit more dynamic comparatively, right? And so whenever I click out of it, so I click out of it about here. We want to find the moment, so I split here. What I would do is change the layout to gameplay to fill, which, as you can see, may not be working because of just the way, again, it goes to show how I was actually there. And then it goes back to me full screen because I told myself to go full screen. And then I'm happy with these changes. I hit save. And that's how you can really, use the editor to reformat those things. I see from Dan Earth here. I'm sure it's in my head, but I feel like when I post a short from desktop or the Opus scheduler instead of the mobile app, it doesn't get pushed as much. Post a short from desktop. Do you mean YouTube desktop or mobile app? It is, when it comes to where you post, keep in mind what YouTube says and what actually happens sometimes do not align. It shouldn't be affecting it, but is it? I don't have enough data or research. That actually could be something maybe Opus Clip goes a little bit deeper on, but I can say it shouldn't be happening. Doesn't mean it isn't. I would maybe reach out to YouTube support, see if they could take a look at it. You'd be surprised. And yeah, on YouTube desktop. I've had shorts on YouTube desktop do better than on mobile. I've had shorts on mobile do better than desktop. I don't think it's necessarily where I uploaded it. I think it was just the content. And I think that YouTube does an okay job at showing those differences, but there's still some work that absolutely could be done still. So what I would say is that just because, YouTube says one thing doesn't guarantee it in another way. So I would say that it's hard to know for sure, but it shouldn't be affecting it. Keyword shouldn't. Doesn't mean it's not happening. But you know what is happening? We're going to be continuing doing these live streams. If you found this live stream helpful, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel, checking out more of the amazing content we have here on Opus Clip. The next live stream we're going to be talking about is how you can make compilations in Opus Clip and how you can use your existing videos to make new content. If you enjoyed this live stream, thank you so much for joining us. Or if you're watching the replay, I'm Andrew Can from here happily talking about Opus Clip, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.